Dear learners, today we will discuss about the traditional disaster preparedness and adaptation practices in India. First, we will discuss about the flood management through indigenous knowledge system. See, traditional communities in India have long adopted innovative flood management practices suited to local environments. In Assam and the northeastern states, changhars are built on raised bamboo or wooden platforms to protect people and belongings from floodwaters. In the Kerala backwaters and Assam shorelands, the river island regions, floating houses and boat-based living enable communities to adapt to seasonal flooding. Villagers also use traditional flood forecasting method by observing animal behavior, cloud formations, rainfall pattern, and also river current changes. The Zabo farming system of Nagaland integrates forest, water harvesting, and agriculture to reduce runoff, conserve water, and enhance resilience against floods. Next is water harvesting and drought adaptation through indigenous knowledge system. India's traditional water conservation systems have supported communities in drought-prone regions for centuries. Johars, small earthen check dams in Rajasthan, captures rainwater and recharge groundwater. Stepwells, valleys, valves in Gujarat and Rajasthan store water for use during dry seasons while providing community access. Schools, traditional surface water channels in Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh divert glacial meltwater for irrigation. Tankas, underground rainwater storage tanks in Rajasthan's Thar Desert ensure drinking water availability during prolonged dry periods. The Ahar Bandi system of Bihar efficiently diverts and stores floodwater for irrigation, improving water security and agricultural resilience. Cyclone and coastal resilience through indigenous knowledge system. Coastal communities in India have developed traditional practices to reduce cyclone risks and enhance resilience. In Odisha and the Sundarbans of West Bengal, mangrove conservation acts as a natural barrier, reducing wind speed, storm surges, and coastal erosion. Raised earthen platforms and community cyclone shelters designed using local knowledge of wind patterns and flood levels provide safe refuge during severe storms. Fisher folks and coastal residents also observe natural warning signs such as unusual bird migration, changes in wind direction, sea conditions, and wave patterns to anticipate approaching cyclones and take timely preventive measures. Next, earthquake resistant construction through indigenous knowledge system. Traditional Indian architecture incorporates earthquake resistant techniques that have evolved over centuries. Chediwari construction in Kashmir and the Himalayan region uses timber-laced masonries, allowing buildings to absorb and dissipate seismic forces. Bunga houses of Kutch, Gujarat are circular mud and thatch structures with thick walls and conical roofs, making them highly stable during earthquakes. In Assam, Hikra construction uses bamboo, reeds, and lightweight materials to create flexible walls that can withstand ground shaking with minimum damage. These indigenous building techniques demonstrate sustainable, low-cost, and resilient solutions for reducing earthquake risks in hazard-prone regions. Next is agricultural and famine adaptation through indigenous knowledge system. Traditional farming practices in India have long enhanced resilience against droughts, crop failures, and food storages. Mixed cropping and multiple cropping systems reduce the risk of total crop loss by cultivating diverse crops with varying climatic tolerances. Communities also maintain traditional seed banks and grain storage structures such as kothars and bhandaras to preserve seeds and food reserve for period of scarcity. In many villages, community grain sharing systems ensure equitable distribution of food during droughts, famines, or poor harvest. These indigenous practices strengthen food security, conserve biodiversity, and support sustainable livelihoods. Next is social and institutional mechanisms through indigenous knowledge system. Traditional communities in India have developed strong social and institutional systems to enhance disaster resilience. Village councils, panchayats, and community elders coordinate collective decision making, resource allocation, and mutual support during disasters. Oral traditions, folklore, songs, and rituals preserve knowledge of past disasters, seasonal changes, and early warning signs, ensuring that valuable experience is passed from one generation to the next. Sacred groves, protected through cultural and religious beliefs, conserve biodiversity, stabilize soil, regulate water flow, and reduce the risks of erosion and landslide. These indigenous institutions strengthen community resilience and sustainable environmental management. The significance of indigenous knowledge system in disaster management. Say, indigenous knowledge system provide ecologically sustainable, cost-effective, and locally adapted solution for disaster risk reduction and climate resilience. Developed through generations of experience, these practices are well suited to local environmental conditions and strengthen community preparedness, response, and recovery. They promote sustainable resource management, biodiversity conservation, water security, resilient agriculture, and disaster resistance, construction while encouraging community participation. Recognizing their value, modern disaster management frameworks, including the National Disaster Management Authority guidelines, increasingly integrate IKs with scientific knowledge and modern technology. This combined approach enhances disaster resilience, supports sustainable development, and strengthens climate adaptation at the local level. Thank you, dear learners, for your patience hearing.